All right, all right, all right. Welcome. Welcome to the stage, everyone. Give a round of applause for our next brave contestants here on the stage. How are you doing?
This one.
You are?
Hello, thanks for having us.
Lovely. And how are you doing today?
Pretty good, excited for the day and happy to show our game to many more people.
Okay, so you are from...
That's so good.
Clara, would you like to introduce yourself as well? I'm sure you would.
Thank you, Lucas. So I'm Clara. I'm good as well. Thank you, everyone. We can go on.
Awesome. It's really nice to have you on stage here. So you're from PiPaPo Games. That's a really interesting name. Would you like to explain to our international audience what it means or how it came to be, basically?
Yeah, actually we had another name before that, but that was, as we found out, already taken in the process of us being a team. So we had the choice between trying to get a lawyer and get our name, but that was we have to make a game, so there was no time or money for this, and it's also fine that they took it because it isn't as good as our new name. So we brainstormed a lot, and PiPaPo, for the non-German audience, it's just a German word for etc., I would say. So just so on.
Wait, what?
And yeah, it's a really nice name. We really like it, much more than our previous name.
You learn something new every day, right? So, Lucas and Clara, you are represented here on stage today, but you also have a team behind you. Would you like to elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yes, we would like. There's also Anka. She's our lead programmer, and Laura, our art director, who is also responsible for concept art. And we have some lovely people working with us, even though we can't pay them. So shout out to Ali and Jenny working with us together. Ali is doing our sound and music and is our composer, and our music is just awesome and we love it and we are so grateful he is with us. He's doing such a great work. And Jenny as well. It's nice to have someone concentrating on the social media stuff, and we can just work and have some times to look into it. This is really a relief. Yeah.
Really, we also already mentioned your company name, which is great, but you also brought a game with you, which has also a very, very good name, a good title. It's for those of you who haven't seen it yet, it's MapMap, a game about maps, which is great. Would you like to introduce us to our game? What is it about? How does it work?
So, yeah, MapMap, a game about maps, is a cozy exploration third-person game with a unique cartography mechanic, so that's our center. In our game, you travel from island to island and always have only a very basic map showing the outline of this island. And then you get quests, for example, to find the location of the old temple. So you explore the island, search for the old temple, and then you need to pinpoint it as accurately as you can on your map. So it's kind of a mix between GeoGuessr and a short hike. And we also have an overarching story about the big treasure hunt. So you are part of a crew of adventurers and you are traveling from island to island to find clues to find the location of this legendary lost treasure.
I imagine that you like maps a lot, maybe? How did brainstorming go for this kind of game? How did you arrive at this idea as this company? You're a new studio. I imagine that you had several concepts or ideas. What could be your next project, basically? Why did you end up on this kind of cartography game?
Actually, we had a lot of concepts. I think we brainstormed for 2 months or so. It was a lot. It was exhausting, and we were always trying new methods, like how do we brainstorm? We don't know. We had a lot of pitches, but it was very important for us that everyone was on board of the 3 core members. And I think in the end, Lucas was very excited about cartography and about the tools and stuff. And I was very excited about maps, and that you work with the map and just don't follow quest markers and look at your surrounding and stuff. And I think somehow this came together with the cartography pitch. Yeah.
So right now we are playing this cute little character in your very, very cute game. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the decisions about the art style and also the character that we are playing?
Yeah, funny story. I think I'm allowed to tell it. Lucas came one day in the office and said, I have the best idea ever.
That's how most good stories start,
No,
right?
it was really good. It blew my mind. He just went, what is the name of our main character? And I was something generic like, I don't know, Bob, Billy, whatever. And he was, we should call him, her, they. We should call their maps because MapMap, a game about maps. And I was like, what?
Wow.
So I think that's all about our main character because they won't have a voice in the game. It's just I don't know what's a silent main character who is very excited about cartography. So that's all, I guess, about they. And what was the second question about the art style, right?
It was about the art style as well of the game.
Yeah, our concept artist Laura, she does a great job doing a very big art bible and thinking about all the little stuffs. And we worked together to see how we could convert it into 3D. A lot of inspiration came from the modern stylized path and the very much tutorials on the internet how you make cute stylized grass and stuff like that, and I think it came together like this. Yeah.
Interesting. So we played your demo yesterday, which is basically like 4 steps of the tutorial, I would say, right? I was amazed how well thought out and designed the tutorial was. It was not too much. It was tool by tool. It was really, yeah, and it was also really motivating, like the needle coming down from the sky, like hitting the point where you put your marker, really was extremely motivating to get it right, basically. So how many iterations did you have to do to arrive at this point? So how was the design process basically for the current state of the game?
I think we've been working on MapMap now for around a year. So we had a rather long concept phase where we made before doing this version, we made a really crappy first playable version where we just put everything in we could think about and just didn't think about code structure and stuff like this. And yeah, the base idea of having pinpointing stuff on the map, that was in our initial pitch, but designing the tools you would use to pinpoint these that were not too complicated, but also give you the freedom to do whatever you want. That was a rather long process to find the exact tools, and also that the tools, you unlock new tools over time, and that the jumps between the ability of the tools isn't too big, so it's a nice linear progression. That took quite a long time, but from it's actually quite funny because from a game design perspective, we also tested some levels where they were not well designed. They were just pretty random, but everyone was oh, so this is now a challenge because you didn't have any real reference points, and people were just okay, so this is the game, and they really liked it. So really interested to see how it continues, because we are going to start with the bigger levels next in our level design process, and really interested to see how that pans out in the end.
So maps is definitely a very interesting skill and some kind of lost art, I would say, these days, now that we have all the technicians and GPSs and satellites that are mapping out our entire world that we live in. But what kind of research did you have to look into to make this happen? Because it's about maps, yes, but it's also about measurements and trying to navigate what processes and research was put into this to make it as realistic as possible and also entertaining.
So we do play GeoGuessr a lot in our company. That's one of our...
Who's the best?
Me.
It's you?
Me.
All right.
Laura, if you see this, it's me. So, yeah, no, we had some talks with some of our mentors from we were in an incubator program before, and one of them also was in the military before, and they have like training to like map and orientate, and that was like really valuable because like they learn to orientate themselves with as little information as possible, and just looking at these kinds of things, and just there are a lot of, I don't know what Pfadfinder is in English.
Scouts, right?
Scouts. Oh yeah, they're like scout books which teach you that stuff as well. And then also just a lot of trial and error. Some of our tools are like not how they actually work in real life and are like somewhat gamified or simplified so we can easily use them. But it was actually quite fun to like learn new things that are not about how do I program this, but like actually how do I learn the direction from just looking at my watch and the sun position. So that's really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds nice. So, what's the current state of the game? So you have the demo here at the conference. Is this what the current state of the game is, or is there more that you are like currently not showing, basically?
There is some more stuff, though. This is like the new project. So the old playable project, we just threw it away because it was like it was really crappy. So these are the only islands we have at the moment, but there are already some more tools implemented, but we are actively not showing them at the convention because people can what's really cool, people can like get really immersed and like really try different ways to pinpoint this location, and then it takes a lot of time, which is really cool, but for people to do it at home and not to do it at the conference because other people would also like to play. So this is by choice, a really short demo which is played in like 10 minutes with like the first tools. But yeah, there are some more things to look forward to in our game.
So in the demo, we are introduced to Billy. What is the future of all the characters in the game as well? We talked about Billy yesterday. Will there be more as well? And what kind of thought process into representation of these characters have you been going through?
That's very important for us, the representation. That's the reason our main character is a they. So it's for the player to decide, not for us. But their name is Maps, so it's anyway. And Billy is a girl actually, but has very androgyn.
Tomboyish.
Yeah, name and tomboyish clothes and stuff. It was important for us all to play with the genders for you to decide, kind of. And in the future, we also like to also want to implement more people of color, and also of one plan is to have someone with a disability. So we don't want to just whitewash all our characters. We are always iterating on this and say, okay, please iterate again. We will find something, and it's important to have it in an early stage in your mind to work the character out to fit this. But it's also important for us, it's not a topic to go on this very heavy subject. It's just, hey, they are people and they are doing stuff we do, like mapping, cooking, leading a crew of adventurers and stuff. And we can all do it like this, yeah.
All right, I'd really be interested, what are your future plans, basically? What's your vision for the game? Where will it end up eventually in the ideal version, at least, if everything falls into place and you can do whatever you would like to do? How would the game look and feel and play in the end, and how do you get there?
So if everything works the way we plan, it will definitely end up in the Steam top seller charts for ages, for millennials. No, so we already have a pretty good plan of our full version, of the full version we would like to create, and that's also like feasible with like financials. And yeah, it will be like a big treasure hunt, various islands, also like islands that get larger and larger over time, a bigger crew cast. At the moment we only have Billy in our demo, and we would like to extend it, and also like more interactions with your with the crew, so you can, they are not like just giving you quests, and they are not like just a glorified quest system, but actual characters you can interact with. And yeah, what else? I think like the demos are already pretty much showing what our game should look like in the end. It's just more of that, basically. And a cool treasure you can find in the end.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was going to ask if, are we going to map the whole world at some point?
That's not gonna.
So you are going to map the whole ocean. There's like an overview map with all the maps. We are currently calling it the MapMap, because it's like a map of maps.
Of course.
And so you're completing this like atlas of the ocean, and through that you find clues to find the legendary lost treasure, and then you have like an overview map where you see all your maps in place and see the whole ocean the way you mapped it. And yeah.
That's so bad.
Yesterday we talked a little bit about how the game looks and feels, and we'd also like to know, tell the audience what your like target audience looks like for the game. Who's the game for? Who are the players that you're aiming for to play your game?
So our main target audience are cozy gamers, because we are making a wholesome game. But also map fans. It's a niche, but they are there, and I think it isn't exactly a genre, of course, but we see them everywhere. We are meeting people here that they are like, oh, I love maps. I'm so excited about this. And we are like, yeah, good.
I'm one of them.
Yeah. And but we are also focusing on explorers, because it's very exploring heavy, and on achievers who want to complete the whole maps and the whole islands to find everything. And because it's a very friendly and it can be very easy, it's also for inexperienced player and children as well. Yeah.
As you mentioned, Sasha, you're the big like what's it called, marker that just smashes down through the air, and I'm very excited about it. It's a good response. It's really satisfying. Are you planning on making more of these rewarding response in the game?
Yes, actually. So first of all, because in our game you can't lose, so there's no way of failing or getting stuck. We really need to make like the process of, or just like the animation or the end screen as rewarding as possible, so people are really incentivized to still try to do their best, even though you can continue to the next level wherever you put your marker. And there's actually most, or quite some of the tasks will not just put down like this animation marker, but a new building will be placed at this exact location. So they're like buildings to set up your home, or buildings you need to find clues, and they will be, wherever you put your marker, they will just be placed there. And if you like just eyeball it a bit too much, it can like end up at any given position. And there will also be like useful structures that are not just decorative, but like bridges or lookout towers, which you can more freely place through the map, and they will help you on further missions on the same island.
You said that you have been working on the game for about a year now, right? So I'm pretty sure, you mentioned some, but I'm pretty sure you have learned a lot during the year. We have a lot of developers here in the audience, and maybe in the stream as well. Are there some tidbits that you want to tell us, some learnings that you got along the way, some things that you would say, let's not do it like that again, or this was a really good decision, or stuff like that?
So before starting this game, we actually had another game we wanted to make, and so when we found our company in university, we all wanted to found a company and like be an indie studio, and we started with another game. But after developing that one for 1 year, we realized, okay, the scope is getting too big. There's no way we are going to finance it. And I think throwing your game away, even if you've already spent a year on it, was definitely the right decision here. And then afterwards, to like really take our time, I think we took like 2 months to brainstorm for MapMap and really throwing away. We had other ideas we kind of liked, but we waited until we had an idea where we felt like, yes, this is something we want to spend the next 2 to 3 years on, and put like all of this risk of having a successful company or not. So I think those are 2 pretty good learnings.
So you mentioned you're a very nice music composer here on stage. Shout out to her. What are the future with the sound and music and composition for your game? Is there any message, any feelings, or something you want to go with on that note?
We definitely want to Ali, our sounding, wants to emphasize the free exploration theme, and there are certain locations that are special on the island, and then we plan to subtly change the music so it's easily changes to the other. This is really complicated to formulate. Formulate is probably also the wrong word. We have a lot of atmosphere sounds, just like islands, and some music as well. And we want to see different spots where okay, in this area you don't have any music, and then you enter this area and it's a mysterious temple, and then the music changes to that, or it's a beautiful view, and we still need to find ways to see, okay, if you are standing here and looking in this direction, that's a beautiful view, so you get beautiful view sounds. And other than that, we just let Ali do whatever he wants because he's really, really good at it. He also made the sound for our trailers, and sometimes we give him feedback, but I think it's also fine if he just ignores it because he knows better what he's doing than us, as you saw from my my failed attempt to explain more about our sound. Thank you.
So you just mentioned feedback. Similar to Marcus's booth, I also saw a lot of people playing your game as well. So what is the general feedback you received yesterday, basically?
The general feedback was that they think the concept is very unique, and this is very exciting, and we agree because we looked up with our marketing research similar games, and there are cartography games out there, but they are always doing it a little different than we are. And GeoGuessrs, I don't know, kind of the one game was most similar like ours because it's about position and position marking and orientation. And so they all they had fun. This was amazing, of course. It's important that the game is fun, and the unique feedback, the unique concept was good feedback, and of course the art style. They loved how it looked, and I'm one of the artists, so I'm grateful for that.
Awesome. So we have 2 more days of Nordic Games Conference. So what are you looking for getting out of the conference, basically? Are you looking for a publisher? Do you want more feedback? Do you like to try to do some public play testing, basically? So what is it? What are you going for, basically?
So we are always happy to get feedback. So if anyone's in the audience hasn't played our game, feel free to play it. It's right over there at the back wall in the Hamburg Game City booth. And but from a business perspective, we are currently looking for a publishing partner to especially help us with marketing, but also to fully finance our game. So the rest of the game that's not yet financed. And and just to network. We are most of the time we are in German different networking events. So it's really nice to have more like a European or international audience here, and just like connecting to other developers and seeing how they do it, what they think, and so it's so far, even though it only has been one day yet, it has been a great experience.
Awesome. So, yeah, I think we have to get to the last question already. It was really nice talking to you. So, as we mentioned before, it's a difficult time for the games industry, right? Like there are like studios closing, we have some layoffs. It's difficult to acquire finance. You're like a fresh studio. How does it feel? Are you optimistic to like go into the future? Are you worried? What is it that might give you hope, that pushes you forward to still make games during a time like this?
I think we have hope. I mean, at the moment we are broke, so how should it go even worse, I guess. But I also, I'm grateful to come in the studio each day and see these awesome people and work with them. And this is keeping me going. Of course, I love making games, but I also love working with my team, with like-minded people who are awesome, and just brightens your days. And I think it's very important because my whole day is with them, and it's very great. You
Awesome.
want to add something, Lucas?
I feel the same.
Good.
All right, that's a very nice view on game development. I hope that that you will have success with your game and like going forward, and your studio will be there for the next 50 years, hopefully. All right, let's have a nice round of applause for PiPaPo Games, for
Thank you very
Clara
much.
and Lucas. Okay, thanks so much for being here, for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you.
And coming up next,